Welcome to our tutorial about object snaps. Let's begin by bringing in the Object Snaps toolbar. We'll go to Tools, Toolbars, AutoCAD, and scroll to Object Snap. The toolbar can float in the drawing area as you see here. I'll dock it about here though. If you do have Object Snap mode on, toggle it off. First, we're going to learn about snapping to an endpoint. Let's begin by activating the Line tool. With the Line tool active, click on the snap you want to use. Let's try Snap to Endpoint. Now, when I mouse near this line's endpoint, the endpoint becomes highlighted by a green square. I don't have to be right on the endpoint for the snap to appear. About 50% closer will do. Left-click to accept that snap. Activate the tool again. And let's snap to this endpoint. Right-click and enter to close the Line tool. Let's activate the Line tool again. Snap to Endpoint, and we'll snap from this endpoint. Click the Snap tool again to this endpoint. Left-click to accept the line, right-click and enter to close the tool. Let's do it again. Right-click, repeat line, snap to Endpoint, left-click, snap to Endpoint, left-click again, right-click and enter to close the tool. Let's take a look at the Snap to Midpoint tool. Activate the Line tool. Click on Snap to Midpoint. The midpoint icon is a green triangle. Left-click to place our first point. Snap to Midpoint again. Left-click to place our second point. Snap to Midpoint, and left-click again. Right-click and enter to close the tool. Now let's take a look at the next tool, Snap to Intersection. Activate the Line tool. Snap to Intersection. Left-click when we see the green X, the symbol for the intersection. Now snap to Midpoint, left-click to accept, right-click and enter to close the tool. The next tool is Snap to Apparent Intersection. Let's create a couple lines with which we can demonstrate this tool. Something like this, right-click and enter to close. Let's activate the Line tool. Start about here. Activate Snap to Apparent Intersection. And let's mouse over various lines here. The apparent intersection is indicated by the green X. Left-click to accept the apparent intersection, and right-click and enter to close the tool. The next option is to snap to an extension of an existing arc or line. Let's activate the Line tool, and let's place our first point with a left-click. Now activate the Snap to Extension tool. Oops, I placed that point by accident. Let's right-click and select Undo. Okay, snap to extension. The green X and dashed line indicate the extension. We left-click to place the second point and right-click and enter to close the tool. Next, let's take a look at Snap to Center. Let's activate the Line tool. Now snap to center. Now when I mouse over a circle or arc, ellipse, the center becomes active. If I left-click, I'll accept that snap. Snap to center again. And let's snap to the center of this circle. Right-click and enter. The next snap tool is Snap to Quadrant. And that snaps us to a quadrant point of a circle, arc, ellipse, or elliptical arc. With the Line tool active, activate the Snap tool. The green diamond shows us the 4 snap points of the circle. Left-click to accept the snap, activate the snap again, and left-click to accept the second point. Snap again, left-click, snap again, left-click to accept. Right-click and enter to close the tool. Okay, let's take a look at the next tool, Snap to Tangent. Activate the Line tool again, and as we mouse over an arc or circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, etc., we see in green the symbol of tangency. Left-click to accept. Now I've got a rubber band tangent line following the mouse. Let's activate the Snap to Tangent tool again, and a second click will establish the line. Right-click and enter to close the tool. Next is Snap to Perpendicular. Activate the Line tool again. Let's start our line about here with a left-click. Activate Snap to Perpendicular. When I mouse over an object that presents a perpendicular relationship, the glyph will appear. Left-click to accept. Right-click and enter to close the tool. The last tool we'll take a look at is Snap to Parallel. Activate the Line tool. Left-click to place the first point. Activate the Snap to Parallel tool. When I mouse over an entity that offers a parallel relation, we see the parallel glyph. Now the line's highlighted with a green cross. When I move the mouse, a green dotted line appears. Let's select another line. Here's a second option for parallel relation. Left-click to accept, right-click and enter to close the tool. And this concludes our tutorial about object snaps.